In the intricate and often turbulent world of decentralized finance, where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, trust is the most valuable commodity. Protocols are built on complex code, and users place their faith in the promise of mathematical certainty. But on November 3rd, that certainty was shattered for one of the oldest and most respected players in the space. The automated market maker Balancer became the center of a developing crisis, a suspected exploit that sent shockwaves across the entire Ethereum ecosystem. Early reports began to circulate, painting a grim picture. On-chain data revealed a sudden and massive outflow of funds from Balancer's pools. Staggering sum, initially estimated to be around $128 million, was drained and consolidated into a single, newly created wallet. The precision and speed of the operation pointed not to a market fluctuation, but to a deliberate, targeted attack. As on-chain sleuths and security firms scrambled to trace the funds, a sense of dread began to settle in. The attacker was methodically merging the stolen assets, a clear preparatory step before attempting to launder the digital loot. The community watched, holding its collective breath, fearing the funds would soon disappear into the anonymizing vortex of coin mixers like Tornado Cash, or be scattered across various blockchains via cross-chain bridges, making recovery nearly impossible. As whispers turned into a roar across social media platforms and community channels, a moderator on Balancer's official Discord server provided a sliver of information, confirming the community's worst fears. The attack, they stated, had specifically targeted the protocol's V2 pools. While the newer V3 infrastructure was reportedly secure, the damage to the well-established and widely used V2 was significant. The brief statement did little to quell the rising panic. Guess users and integrated protocols desperately tried to assess their exposure and the potential fallout. Initial analysis from security experts, including the reputable firm Defimin Signals, began to pinpoint the root cause of this catastrophic breach. The culprit appeared to be a subtle, yet devastating flaw buried deep within Balancer's smart contract code. A faulty check, a single line of logic that failed to properly validate transaction conditions, had created the opening. This vulnerability acted like a master key, allowing the attacker to bypass the system's defenses and directly siphon assets from the main vault, the very heart of the protocol's liquidity. The incident was a stark and brutal reminder that in the world of smart contracts, even the smallest oversight can lead to a multi-million-dollar disaster. The news of the Balancer exploit reverberated throughout the decentralized finance community, sparking widespread alarm and concern. Balancer is not just another protocol. It is a foundational pillar of the DeFi landscape on Ethereum. As one of the original and most reputable automated market makers, it has long been a trusted venue for liquidity, underpinning the operations of countless other projects. The protocol's vaults hold a vast reservoir of on-chain liquidity that is crucial for the functioning of numerous other platforms. Among the most prominent is ABA Titan in the DeFi lending space, which relies heavily on Balancer's liquidity pools for its GHO stablecoin and other core functions. The potential for a domino effect, where a failure at Balancer could trigger a cascading crisis across interconnected protocols, became a terrifyingly real possibility. For the Balancer team and its longtime supporters, this event felt like a painful case of déjà vu. If confirmed as a malicious hack, this would mark the third major security breach in the project's history. Previous incidents in 2020 and 2023 had already cost the protocol millions of dollars, each one a blow to its reputation. This latest attack, however, dwarfed the previous ones in scale, representing the largest and most damaging exploit Balancer has ever faced. While a dedicated community of on-chain detectives meticulously tracked the hacker's every move, documenting the wallet addresses and fund flows, the broader DeFi world waited in tense silence for an official, comprehensive statement from the Balancer team itself, a statement that was conspicuously slow to arrive. The fallout from the Balancer breach extended far beyond the immediate financial losses, prompting drastic and unprecedented actions from other projects in the ecosystem. In a move that underscored the severity of the situation, the team behind Barrage Chain, an up-and-coming blockchain designed to mirror the Ethereum mainnet, made the difficult decision to halt its entire chain. This was a radical step, Blockchain intended to operate continuously 24/7 was brought to a standstill. In a post on the social media platform X, the blockchain team explained that its network validators had deliberately coordinated to pause the platform. The objective was to buy time to perform an emergency hard fork, a fundamental upgrade to the chain's code, specifically designed to address and mitigate the vulnerabilities exposed by the balancer hack. The blockchain team was fully aware that this decision would be controversial. Halting a blockchain goes against the core ethos of decentralization and censorship resistance. However, they argued that their primary responsibility was to protect their users. With over $12 million in user funds locked on their platform and directly at risk due to the balancer integration, they believe that decisive, albeit drastic, action was necessary to prevent a similar catastrophe on their own network. This proactive protective measure was not an isolated incident. Beefy, a popular yield optimization protocol that helps users find the best returns on their crypto assets, quickly followed suit. They announced a complete pause on all of their products and vaults that were linked to Balancer, effectively quarantining the risk and shielding their users from further exposure until the situation could be fully assessed and resolved. These defensive maneuvers raised a critical and pressing question that now hangs over the entire DeFi landscape. Will other protocols follow their lead? The Balancer v2 code, despite its now exposed vulnerability, has been widely forked and adopted by numerous other projects. Over 20 different platforms have built their infrastructure on Balancer's open-source foundation. For instance, BeatsDex, a prominent fork, currently holds over $6.6 million in total value locked TVL. This is just one example, and the cumulative value at risk across all Balancer forks could be substantial. The teams behind these protocols are now faced with a difficult choice: continue operations and risk a similar exploit, or follow blockchain's lead and take drastic measures to protect their users. As these platforms scramble to audit their code and assess their vulnerabilities, a promise of cooperation and a commitment to ensuring all losses are properly accounted for has become the new mantra. But as the minutes turn into hours, and with no official word from the core Balancer team, a chilling silence hangs over the market, leaving millions of dollars in limbo and the fate of a foundational DeFi protocol uncertain.